Artemis Fowl was directed by Kenneth Branagh, and it is based off of the popular children's fantasy novels of the same name. As far as I can tell, this film tells the story of adolescent criminal boy genius Artemis Fowl II. He captures a vicious fairy, and he attempts to harness her magical powers in a bid to rescue his abducted father. Now, this film was released directly to Disney+, after Disney pushed back the release dates of live-action films like Mulan and The Jungle Cruise, and this film was actually left in development purgatory for quite some time. It hopped from director to director, and Disney pushed back this release when it was supposed to get a theatrical run about a year ago once again. It was delayed to this year, and then unfortunately COVID struck. And then all of a sudden, Disney just seemed okay with just dumping it on Disney+. That should really tell you all you need to know about this one. So, story time. I never read these books growing up as a kid. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember talking to one person who did. I mean, as a kid, I always remembered seeing the Artemis Fowl books on the shelf in my elementary school library, but I don't remember anyone ever checking them out. I sure as hell didn't. I just checked out the Harry Potter books on repeat. Oh yeah, I'm gonna take Order of the Phoenix again. I don't care if I've read it a million times. I'm just gonna go ahead and take not a direct quote. Point being, I don't know everything that there is to know about the universe. And going in, I didn't know a single thing about any of the books because I hadn't read any. I'm not a diehard fan. Even with that knowledge in mind, I didn't like this film at all. And I think this film is a massive misfire, which honestly is a shame. I really wanted to like this movie. I really like Kenneth Branagh as a director. He has proven himself to be a good director with Disney in the past. You see this? It's the first Thor movie. Technically not Disney, but it's a Disney property now. He did this! How about this one? The Cinderella remake. It's actually pretty underrated, I'm not gonna lie. Actually, it's one of the Disney remakes I actually quite enjoy. He did this too! Obviously, Kenneth Branagh is an extremely talented individual. I mean, he's Gilderoy Lockhart for crying out loud. He's pretty much a modern-day Sir Laurence Olivier. Very gifted in Shakespeare, especially. And as I'm shown you, he's very capable behind the camera. So I have no clue how this movie was as bad as it was. I will give the movie credit where it's due, though. Kenneth Branagh has a way of making beautiful, gigantic atmospheres. This movie's scope is absolutely ginormous. And honestly, like I said, I really wanted to like this movie. A lot of the production design elements behind it, a lot of the character designs, a lot of that stuff looked really cool. Now, clearly, there's a lot of potential behind this film. Lots of really neat ideas. But just all the story elements just could not hold up to that potential, unfortunately. Speaking of potential, before I go any further with this is no fault of the actors at all. The young actors in this film definitely have a lot of potential, but everything else about this movie just doesn't hold up to that. Josh Gad is in this movie as Diet Hagrid. He's a very talented performer. He got his start in theater. He was the original Elder Cunningham in the Book of Mormon. I love the guy. I don't care if people think he's insufferable as Olaf. I think he's awesome. And he was definitely giving this movie his all. But with what he was given, it's Josh Gad plays basically a giant dwarf in this movie, and basically his gimmick is that he is neglected and discriminated against by the other dwarves because he is giant. Silly stuff like that. There's also a lot of really terrifying CGI moments with Josh Gad here. Stuff that's gonna be in my nightmares. Colin Farrell, in like the 5 minutes he is on screen, he's incredibly underutilized as Artemis Fowl Sr. I think he's great as per. He's just not given enough material. Judi Dench's appearance as Paycheck Performance is always quite the nice presence to have, but I don't know, guys. This film had so much potential. It had so many really cool and unique ideas. But that's the thing. This film is only 95 minutes, and this film throws so much at you. Now, 95 minutes, it seems like a fairly reasonable time to sit through a movie. And I'm all for ideas. I am totally game for that. But the thing is, when you put too many of these ideas together, it just comes off really sloppy and all crammed together. And that brings me into why I really did not like this film, and it's probably the most important facet of any film was its story. Honest to God truth, this story makes absolutely no sense. Looking back on the last 95 minutes I just watched, it didn't even feel like necessarily thinking about it. There was no real beginning, middle, and end, really. It was just a random, it was pretty much just a whole big 95-minute montage of weird events. Speaking of events, yeah, no beginning, middle, and end. That should tell you that the screenplay is just abysmal. To me, the idea of film is show, don't tell. And Artemis Fowl does the exact opposite. This film is literally a gigantic pile of exposition. There is literally so much exposition lying around this room that just because I watched Artemis Fowl, as one of my personal favorite Broadway characters said, nothing can kill a show like too much exposition. And this film is the embodiment, I feel like, of that quote. Just piss poor. Hint, hint. Bonus points if you know what show that's from. I think all these problems that I have, just story, but I feel like it does honestly all go back to that runtime. 95 minutes for a story like this is just too short. These guys did not get enough time to, and honestly, like I said, I wanted to really like this movie. There's a lot of really neat ideas being thrown at us, but there's just not enough time for everything, and it just feels so crammed together and so sloppy. I really don't think I need to say much more about this. Artemis Fowl, I feel like, was a disaster, and I'm gonna give it an F. And it really kills me to say that, because I really wanted to like this movie with all the neat ideas it had. But just the discombobulated mess that the story was, just incredibly confusing. Especially for someone that never read the books. That reminds me, if you guys read the books, let me know in the comments section down below. What did you guys think of the books? And what did you guys think of the film? And do you think it pays proper tribute to the novels at all? But yeah, this film clearly was not for me. There's better things to watch on Disney Plus than this. Like Togo. That film's not getting enough love anymore, and I actually reviewed it for the channel. Just saying. Well, guys, that's it for this review. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. Don't forget to sound off in the comments section down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Go ahead and share this video with your friends. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as hard as you possibly can. I really appreciate it. It's super helpful to the channel. Also, keep an eye out for my other new reviews on the channel for Da 5 Bloods and The King of Staten Island. And also, either late this weekend or early Monday morning, expect an upload for my review of WWE's Backlash pay-per-view. I'm really excited for the Backlash review, honestly. I'm going to have a very special guest. My buddy Tomas is going to come on the show to help me break it down after it airs live on the WWE Network. So keep an eye out for that. Some exciting stuff here. As always, you guys are the best. Thank you so much again for tuning in. And with all that being said, Back Talk, commence.